Emergency alert. Do not enter your basement. Stay above ground. It was 10:31 when my phone buzzed. Emergency alert. Do not enter underground structures, such as basements. Stay above ground until the all clear. My husband looked up from his phone and stared at me. Did you just get it? Yeah. That's creepy, I said, glancing at the stairs. Our kid had fallen asleep for the night about an hour ago. What? What do you think's going on? I don't know, he replied. Could it be like a gas leak, radon or something? We'd had a radon pump in our basement since we moved here. Maybe there was some weird influx of it, or something? I ran up the stairs to check on our 5-year-old daughter as Luke flicked on the TV. Grace was sleeping peacefully, her blanket wrapped around her. I made sure she was breathing, comfortable, totally fine before heading back downstairs. When I did, Luke was glued to the TV, which said the same thing. Black screen, pixelated white letters, blocky colors jittering along the top and bottom of the screen. Emergency alert. Do not enter underground structures. Maybe we should get out of here, I said. But it's late, and Grace has school tomorrow. Yeah, so we'll miss school. We can go to my mom's. Luke crossed his arms and stared at the TV. He then flicked to CNN and other news channels. But whatever was happening here must have been local, because it was just the same political drivel re-airing from earlier in the day. There was not a blip of the emergency alert anywhere except the local news channel. I pulled out my phone and did some Google searches. Nothing came up. So, I shot off a text to Lacey, the mom of one of Grace's friends, who lived in the next development over. We'd only lived here since the school year started, so it's not like I had a whole network of people to ask. She didn't respond. I think we should go, I said, grabbing a duffel bag out of the closet. What about work? Don't you work remotely on Mondays anyway? Yeah. But I walked over to our basement door. The chain was latched. I hurried into the kitchen, opened the drawer, and pulled out some postal tape. What are you doing? If it's radon or something, I don't want that stuff all in our house, I said, crouching along the bottom and taping the crack under the door. I think they'd evacuate us, if that were the case. I looked up at him as I yanked another long piece of tape off the roll. Okay, so what do you think it is? He shrugged. When I taped all the cracks, I brought the duffel bag upstairs, filled it with a few random outfits for me and Grace, along with my laptop and a few of her favorite dolls. Then, I grabbed the cooler and loaded our leftover pasta and yogurts into it. Within 10 minutes, I was ready to go out the door. I'll pack up the car. Can you grab Grace? I asked. Luke went upstairs. I walked down the driveway, weighed down with bags. It was a chilly, clear night. Stars twinkled high above me. The street was exceedingly quiet. The tall, scraggly pines of the surrounding pine barrens stretching up to the sky. I heard the echo of a dog barking somewhere. If everyone got the alert, wouldn't there be more people deciding to leave? I glanced at the house across the street. It was completely dark, except for the light above the garage that flicked on when I came out of the house. I opened the back hatch and threw our stuff in. Luke came out after, carrying Grace, wrapped in blankets. She blinked sleepily. I strapped her in. Luke grabbed some stuff, and then we were pulling out of the driveway, on the road to my mom's house in our way. She fell back asleep, I told Luke, watching her face flick into view with the light of the passing street lamps. Good. My phone buzzed. I reached for it. Emergency alert. Your phone's GPS indicates you are leaving city limits. We do not recommend evacuating. Please return home and stay above ground. What the fuck? I whispered. What? Luke asked. There's another alert. It's saying it. It knows we're leaving. It's tracking our GPS. And it's telling us to stay. Luke glanced at my phone. Seriously? Yeah. There. That data's supposed to be private, he said. Isn't it? I would think so. Unless, I dunno. Maybe there are some emergency protocols that allow the FBI to access it or something. We fell into uncomfortable silence. Luke clicked on the turn signal, switched lanes. You don't want me to turn around, right? He asked quietly. I glanced down at my phone. No, I don't. The highway was empty. Not a single car in sight. That made me uneasy asterisk surely. Other people would be evacuating. Asterisk unless they were all actually obeying the second message. But who even trusts the government these days? I did another Google search. No results popped up. I refreshed over and over again. Wouldn't something be on the internet by now? We were 5 miles out of town now. I should be relieved. But I wasn't. I leaned against the window, the cold glass pressed against my forehead. The pine trees flashed by, skinny and tilted, then gave way to a charred, barren patch of forest. Both sides of the highway were burnt to the ground. I'd read somewhere that some pine cones only opened in extreme temperatures. Like from a wildfire, fires and regrowth were part of the cycle here, part of the ecosystem. In flux between death and rebirth like a phoenix. My phone buzzed. My heart dropped, but it wasn't an alert. It was a text from Lacey. Only 2 words. What alert? My fingers raced across the screen. Didn't you get an emergency alert saying to stay above ground? No, Lacey didn't get an alert, I said. Luke paused. What if the alerts were only sent to our phones? I asked, my voice shaking. I glanced back at Grace, still peacefully asleep, head lolling softly with each bump of the car. Luke shook his head. That's crazy. No one can send messages like that. Just the government or whatever. What if it's a trap? My voice shook harder. What if the only safe place was our basement? That's just your OCD talking, he said softly, empathetically. We're doing the right thing. There's something weird in town, like a gas leak. And we got out. That's obviously the safest thing to do. I stared out at the charred pines. There were a few that hadn't burned up, standing tall and stilted in the darkness. I stared out at them, wondering why they were spared. One of them moved. What the? The car screeched to a stop. My body lurched forward. The seatbelt locked, keeping my head from hitting the dash. Sorry, that deer just started. His voice died in his throat. We both stared at the lower legs of something illuminated in the headlights. Thin and spindly, but definitely not a deer's. They ended in twisted toes, not hooves, and extended several feet up into the darkness. Silhouetted against the starry sky, beyond the reach of our headlights, I could see something. Something tall and spindly, skeletal, crisscrossing lines of bones or sticks, or something else entirely. As I stared at it as it stared at me, a wave of dizziness washed through me. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. Weight pressed down on my head, and immense pressure, bearing down on me. Thwack. Something hit the side of the car with incredible force. The entire car rocked on its wheels. I screamed. Thwack. A mess of lines, bones, sticks outside my window, empty air between them, the stars and the pines rippling strangely behind it. Luke stomped down on the accelerator. The car shot forward. We swerved around the thing, then past the burnt section of forest and continued down the dark, twisting highway. My phone buzzed. Emergency alert. ALL clear. Please return home immediately. So, the next story. I followed a deer into the woods. I should have died there. I don't know if I'm even alive right now. If I'm posting this from the real world or just some version of it. I've been told not to talk about it, but I need to. I need someone to tell me I didn't just imagine it all. This happened 3 years ago in the mountains of Bukidnon, where I worked on a reforestation project with a few others from my university. The area was mostly quiet forest, barely touched by civilization, and the local Lumad community had warned us to stay close to the base camp after dark. Their warning was simple: I won't follow the deer. We laughed it off. Of course. Why would we follow a deer? But the forest had a way of making you forget your place in it. On our 3rd night, I couldn't sleep. I went out of the tent to get some air and spotted something moving at the tree line, small, graceful, glowing faintly silver in the moonlight. A deer, but not quite. It looked too perfect. Not dirty, not wild. Its eyes met mine and something in me just clicked. Like it wanted me to follow. Like it needed me to. I don't know how long I walked. I don't even remember deciding to follow it. 1 minute I was outside camp. The next I was deep in the woods. Branches clawing at my skin. The air thick with silence. The deer just kept walking ahead of me. Its hooves never touching the ground, almost floating. Eventually, I lost it. Then I realized I was completely, utterly lost. I turned around and every tree looked the same. The forest was wrong. No wine, no bugs, no stars. Just endless trees. My watch had stopped. My phone had no signal, and the battery started draining fast. I remember thinking, I'm going to die out here. That's when I heard someone whispering. My own voice. It was me, whispering behind me. I turned and saw Myself. A perfect copy, grinning ear to ear, eyes glazed over. It pointed deeper into the trees and said, "You're almost home." I ran. I don't know how long I was out there. I swear it felt like days. But eventually, I woke up outside the camp, face down in the mud. They said I'd been missing for only 4 hours. But my skin was sunburned. My clothes were filthy and torn like I'd been in the woods for weeks. I didn't tell them what I saw. They wouldn't have believed me. Hell, I barely believed me. But here's the worst part. Sometimes when I look into the mirror, I see it. The other me, grinning, waiting. I think it's still following me. I think I never really left the forest. So, the next story. The 7th floor does not exist. I am a night security guard in a former psychiatric hospital converted into a care center for the elderly. The kind of place where the walls sweat humidity, where the neon lights buzz on the ceiling, and where the air still smells of disinfection. Despite the years, we are told to never go above the 6th floor. It's simple. The elevator only goes up to the 6th floor, and the stairs are blocked by a metal door welded from the inside. However, in the building plans, there is a 7th floor. I was told it was an archiving error, an urban legend, that this level never existed. Until Monday, I received an alert on camera 6B. She pointed to the hallway of floor 6. Something weird. A door was open, one that I had never seen. It led onto a narrow, dusty spiral staircase that went up toward the dark. I remained frozen in front of the screen. Then I saw something. No, someone walked past the camera, quickly, pale, his face distorted as if by a silent cry. And I swore I heard high-pitched laughter echoing through the speakers. I went up. I know, I should have called for backup, but my curiosity was stronger. The door was open, cold to the touch. The stairs went up much higher than I expected. Every step creaked, and the air grew colder and colder. When I reached the top, I found a corridor shrouded in silence. The walls were covered in scratches. Names were carved into the plaster, repeated endlessly, and at the end of the corridor, there were numbered doors, like cells. On the other side, I heard whispers, crying, muffled laughter. Door 707 was ajar. I pushed her. Inside, an empty room except for a chair turned toward the wall, with something sitting on it. Someone. But still, when I took a step, the thing turned around. It was me. Exactly me. Same uniform. Same scar on his chin. Same look. Except his eyes were black. Entirely. And he smiled. Slowly. I ran back down. The door to the 7th floor was closed, welded, as if it had never been opened. But since that evening, I no longer see myself in mirrors. So, the next story. Weird stalker lady at my mom's gym. Hey guys, I'm not sure who to tell this to and what to do for my mom in this situation. There's this lady at my mom's gym, who wears a full-on mask like a fencing mask to the gym and works out in it. Everyone at the gym knows who she is but has never seen her face. She even has a sock covering her rear view mirror in her car. Anyway, everyone knows she's an odd person, but for some reason, she has a personal vendetta against my mom. My mom does not know this woman. She had never met her in her life and she just started showing up at the gym maybe a few months ago. Usually she just works out and goes about her day, but one day my mom parked next to her, obviously not knowing it was her car, which shouldn't matter anyway. And this lady started to curse her out. She was talking to her like she knew my mom and saying things like, "That's my man. You be asterisk 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 asterisk," and all that. It was like she had a fight scheduled or something in that area. My mom is confused and she's like, "You got the wrong person." Then the lady is like, "No, I know exactly who you are, yada yada yada." So, my mom just ignores her and goes back to working out and goes home. For the past few weeks, she's been missing this lady because she always goes to the gym at different times. A few days ago, my mom was talking to her gym friend and this lady pulls up in her car and literally stops in front of them and plays loud church music. She stares at them for a good 5 minutes and drives off. Then today, she gets ready to go home after the gym, and then the lady is there waiting for her. When my mom gets ready to drive, this lady literally does like car tricks around my mom's car. Like it looks like she's about to hit her, but then she narrowly misses on purpose. And she keeps doing that until my mom finds an opening to drive and leave. She didn't even want to drive home because she thought this lady would follow her. So she just drove 4 hours somewhere else. My mom has been at this gym for years and she doesn't want to leave. She's went to the gym in the morning and in the afternoon, and sometimes the lady is there and sometimes she isn't. She knows exactly what my mom's car looks like, 2 of them, and the main road she drives on. The lady is always walking that route. She definitely saw my mom one day driving on the road and stared her down. The lady also goes to the gym, but we don't think she has a membership at the moment. She goes inside to use the bathroom, then goes to hit a punching bag really loudly, then walks out. We have a few pics too. I just hope my mom stays safe. She didn't seem too concerned until the last incident happened. She said she'd file a police report and get the CCTV footage, but I really hope we can get this lady to stop. Too many crazy people out here. Edit. Thank you everyone for the great advice. We're getting the ball rolling. This morning my mom went to the gym as usual. She was able to talk to the gym staff, and the higher-ups weren't there today. So she's going to email them. I asked her to file a police report as well, so I'm hoping she does it ASAP. She's going to get a dash cam today too and start recording everything. She's just a little sad because she wants to enjoy going to the gym without dealing with this weird lady. She already has enough on her plate. We also found out the weird lady is in fact a paying member, so that's why the front desk workers don't say anything. Still, it's odd. My mom is going to talk to the staff more about the full face mask thing. I'll update you guys some more later with more info. Wow guys, that one still gives me chills. If you made it to the end, let me know you survived. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed the terror, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're creeping closer to that 1K goal, and your support means everything. Hit the bell so you never miss a nightmare-fueled upload. Stay spooky, stay safe, and remember, you might want to sleep with the lights on tonight. Until next time, peace out, if you can.